Uganda y'enkya.
The FDC Constitution, specifically Articles 23 and 28, state that the FDC National Executive Committee, NEC, shall be elected by the National Delegates Conference, convened and chaired by the party chairperson, who is here with us. This meeting, the first of its kind in the 18 years history of the FDC, was illegal under the party constitution. This illegality is what we brought to the attention of the High Court in a civil suit filed on September 29, 2023. This case challenging the legality of the October 6 Toterebuka Mukalazi meeting has not been heard. Because of the lengthy process involved in hearing and determining cases such as this one, we had also filed two applications, one for an interim injunction and the second one for an interim order, for a temporary order. What these two applications meant to serve was to temporarily stop the Bamwenda Mukalazi meeting until its legality is determined. Unfortunately, Judge Musa Sekana declined to grant the order to temporarily halt the processes pending the determination of the case. He declined on such a flimsy ground that we had filed late and therefore in bad faith. What Mr. Nganda Mafavi and Mr. Patrick Amriat have done is to make their followers blindly believe that the legality of their October 6 meeting has been determined and certified by court. We now want to tell them that the court process has just begun. It might be longer than they think and have been made to believe, if you know how court processes run in this country. This is therefore to inform the FDC delegates who instructed us to take this matter to court on September 19th that the process to have this matter determined has not been concluded. In fact, it has just started. We also want to take note of the conduct of judges. We know judges are given a lot of power under the Constitution, but this power must be exercised judiciously. We are not happy with the way Judge Musa Sekana treated us when we appeared before him on October 5th to hear our interim and temporary order applications. He made us wait for 2 hours because he had said this matter would be heard at midday. So we sat in that court for 2 hours. We were ushered into his offices at 2 p.m. When the hearing of the interim temporary order started, he told us that he had other commitments and therefore gave us only 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, he said, if you don't want these 20 minutes, I can push this matter forward. He literally walked on us and announced that by close of day, he will deliver his ruling by email. We waited until we went to sleep without his email ruling. We were told the following morning that actually Judge Sekana had delivered his email ruling at around midnight. His conduct make it look like a favor by judges to hear cases. We will raise this matter formally to him and to his supervisors. This is not just for us, but for everybody seeking justice in our court system. Justice must not be only done, but it must be seen to be done. We also intend to formally complain against the manner in which Judge Esther Nambayo handled an earlier application by the Nganda Amriat group that sought to block our September 19th Extraordinary Delegates Conference. Nganda and Amriat who have become masters of forgery and fraud sued themselves through their agents. Any judge worth the title should have observed that those who went to court and those they took were the one and the same. That's why when the matter became before Justice Nambayo, the Nandara group immediately consented. I think they did so even before the matter was properly introduced. So any judge worth the title should have seen that there was collusion. Secondly, we suspect that court record was tampered with because those lawyers of Nandara and lawyers of his agents had applied to have the party chairperson, Ambassador Wasabirigwa, joined in this case. It is on that basis that Ambassador Wasabirigwa filed a defense, which unfortunately was thrown out by Justice Nambayo. By doing so, her court certified the collusion by Nandara Amuriat and their agents. This was done even after this collusion was brought to her attention. Finally, the conduct of state institutions. What is taking place in the country is the reenactment of a one-party system called the National Resistance Movement. It is the reason General Yoweri Museveni Tibuhaburwa is turning political parties into NRM affiliates. He started with the Uganda People's Congress. He followed it with with the Democratic Party. And through his agents, Nanda and Amuriat, is trying to take over the FDC. You've seen the National Unity Platform cannot even be allowed to pray. Its leader the other day was grabbed at Entebbe airport as he returned from abroad. And the only reason he was grabbed was because his party had organized for him a warm reception. And one way of stopping it is to grab him at the tarmac. These are the things that Dr. Kizza Besigye, the founding president of the FDC, has gone through on numerous occasions. In fact, at one time, you remember, they even stopped Kenya Airways from delivering him at Entebbe airport. It is the same script, same actors. This whole episode is rendering the return to multi-party democracy worthless and mockery. This is the conversation that Uganda as a country must have. Preserving multi-party democracy is the war we must collectively pursue as a citizenry. The whole scheme by Mr. Tibuhaburwa is to destroy all Uganda's building blocks so that his son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, meets no resistance when his father finally dies in office and the son seeks to take over. Our country, as everybody knows, marked 60 years of independence yesterday, but there are more democratic losses to count than gains. Mr. Tibuhaburwa, who has been in power for 37 years, which is 60% of Uganda's independence period, has made us lose the track that we set ourselves to be on at the time of independence. What is happening in FDC is exactly what has happened to traditional leaders in Uganda. At one time, you remember, Mr. Tibuhaburwa got princesses from Buganda to denounce the Kabaka. He gave them protection to go and occupy Kasubi tombs. He later created chiefdoms within Buganda, which all along has been one. He did the same things to Rwenzururu. Because it didn't work in Uganda and it also didn't work in Rwenzururu, he decided to bomb the palace in Kasese and later to have the Omusinga himself arrested. We are aware that other sort of kingdoms are being created in other traditional kingdoms. You know, the Bagungu in Bunyoro have always been part of one kingdom of Bunyoro. Now we hear that they are trying to create Obutabengwa where someone will also be installed as a traditional leader there. The Muslims are now used to 2 administrations at Kibuli and at Old Kampala. The Church of Uganda has just postponed their elections. The civil society is under sustained, civil society and media under sustained state attack. There is therefore a broader orchestrated plan to destroy all institutions in the country. Only those that pay allegiance to the Museveni dynasty and family rule will be spared. Saving institutions is the battle we are involved in.
Mine is to reinforce that particular message by re-echoing the call he has made to the FDC fraternity that they should not waver. There is this choreographed propaganda going around that court cleared the Nganda Poa Delegates Conference. That is a misconstruction of the ruling given by Sekana. Bad as it is, at least he did not say so, that he pronounced himself on the legality of that Delegates Conference of 6th. I don't even know where the media picks it from. I have seen it somewhere in the media circles and some political discussions that court cleared. The case is still before court. We filed a case as instructed by the National Delegates Conference on 19th to challenge the Delegates Conference of 6th. That case has not been heard. As you have heard from the statement, it has not been settled. It is still pending hearing. It's about the legality of that, the processes of that day. Until it is heard, it's disposed of in its finality. One cannot say that the Delegates Conference of 6th, I even hesitate to call it as such, that it was a lawful exercise, that meeting. So stop propagating falsehoods, starting with you, the media. You are reading too much into that ruling of Sekana. All he did was to refrain from granting temporary reliefs, but not to pronounce in finality on the legality of that particular meeting. We cited the provisions as they have been clearly highlighted in the statement, section 23, article 23 and article 28, which clearly talk about a duly convened National Delegates Conference of the party. It has to be summoned or called by the national chairman who is here, and is the one to preside over the same. So you, the media, who are calling it that Samaji meeting, Ssemujju Partida meeting as a delegates conference, please stop it. It's an insult to the fraternity, to the members of the FDC. Our constitution is very clear. For a delegates conference to sit, the national chairman has to preside over the same. And he was here on the 19th. That's why every effort had to be made on that day, including jumping over that fence to come and chair this delegates conference, to be valid within the parameters of the party constitution. Now you get a meeting presided over by somebody you don't know. If I ask you who presided over that Ssemujju meeting, which you are calling a delegates conference, who presided over the same? You mean any meeting which is called and somebody comes and presides over, it's an FDC delegates conference? That's not the case. So you should stop calling that meeting of 6th as a delegates conference, because it's not known within the meaning of the party constitution. It is not. Secondly, again, for emphasis sake, for the media who have fallen prey to the propaganda orchestrated, masterminded, and propagated by Nganda and the team, that court cleared them. We want to emphasize that, because that's the only thing they are clinging on to get some credibility, to say, they were cleared by court. I want them to cite any particular line within that ruling that said, this meeting is lawful. and it is called a delegates conference. It's not there. By the mere fact that the judge declined to grant the temporary relief on spurious grounds that we came later as explained here, which to him meant bad faith, she doesn't legalize the meeting. No. He simply declined to stop it. But he did not say it is lawful. You should be able to understand that. So having said that, we want to inform all and sundry, particularly the members of the party, the delegates conference that sat on 19th here at Katonga made resolutions which are still binding. They have not been set aside. We want to make it very clear. And amongst those resolutions, to put in place an interim leadership headed by none other than myself and the entire team for a period of 6 months. And we are still legally existing by virtue of that particular resolution of the National Delegates Conference that worked within the parameters of the party constitution. That is number 1. 2, the caravan is on. The program we rolled out Monday last week. It is on course. So it has not been set aside. And for the record, this same team, the Nganda, and their proxies who filed the application against them before Justice Esther Nambayo, happened to have returned to court on 4th of this month for a follow-up of their matter. And you check the record, I don't know why the media did not capture this. Justice Nambayo closed the matter and said, no, we cannot stop the delegates conference of 19th because it had already taken place. And she told them that the matter had been overtaken by events. So why are they not hyping it so much? They are not talking about that particular decision that was made. So this is the reason we have challenged you people, the media, who are talking about an order issued by Justice Nambayo. Justice Nambayo, stopping the delegates conference of 19th. It's not there. Look at the rules. The rules, the civil procedure rules, which were amended in 2019 by the Chief Justice, provide that an interim order can last for only 3 days. That's what the rule says. Only 3 days. They appeared on the Friday preceding the week of 18th and 19th. I don't recall the date it was, but if Monday was 18th, so Friday was the 15th. Friday 15th, that's when they appeared to execute that consent order the Honorable Ssemujju has talked about. And it is the reason the judge indicated that it would last for only 3 days. And it expired on Monday 18th by operation of the law. It's in black and white in the rules, civil procedure rules, that an interim order can only last for 3 days. So it expired on 18th. The following day we went to our delegates conference. There was no new order. They went back on 4th of October and the judge told them that no, by a fraction of time, this matter has been overtaken by events. So they worked out of court. So where is the court order stopping the delegates conference of 19th? So we still maintain and insist the events of 19th have not been set aside, the delegates conference resolutions, and they have not been challenged. So our existence is lawful. That is the point we wanted to make. Until one comes up with a judgment nullifying the resolutions of 19th of September. It's the reason we are going ahead with our program, which I don't need to regurgitate or rather to repeat here, because it's well within your knowledge. It is in the public domain. We gave it to you. And one of the items on that particular program we wanted to emphasize is the fact that we are going to mobilize the Ugandans against the Museveni dictatorship, the family rule. And starting very soon, we are going to do it. And luckily enough, Abapya has rolled out a new program for local council elections with the nominations in November. We are going to actively participate in those elections for purposes of mobilizing people against the Museveni dynasty. because that is a golden opportunity for us to reach out to the people. Because if they are the ones now who have announced this program, it's an exercise announced by the Electoral Commission, and it helps us to reach each and every village in this country. We have over 40,000 villages in this country. So that's a golden opportunity, and we are going to do so. So we are going to guide our members on how we are going to actively use those elections as a mobilizing tool against the Kaguta dynasty. So wait for our program. It's going to come out soon on how we are going to mobilize people using those particular elections. The rest of the programs remain as they were announced. And our call is that please, members, be firm, remain resolute, do not waver. We shall overcome all these challenges. Obviously, when you are dealing with the dictatorship of this nature, you are bound to suffer hiccups like we are encountering right now. It's normal. It's actually inevitable that you suffer such hiccups, such setbacks. But the struggle continues. The war is on. And sooner than later, we are just going to put the Nganda, the power by the wayside and confront the junta head on. Because we know them are just accomplices, just appendages of the junta. So ours is to take on the junta and usher in a genuine transition from the current family rule to a truly multi-party dispensation. We thank you. May God bless you.
You realize that at the recent meeting of 6, most members of parliament stayed away because they knew that meeting was inconsequential. And therefore, as a parliament, we don't respect the outcomes of that meeting. The other day we saw a message from Honorable Yusuf Nsibambi, who has now declared himself a whip, attempting to convene us for a meeting as FDC members of parliament, and we have said to him that we shall not be part of an illegality. So the MPs will not be going with the other culprits and Nsibambi. So we are behind the party, we are for the party, all the way through until when we shall have a delegates conference in March on the 15th, and this is cleared. So I wanted to put it clear that we are for constitutionalism, we are for the rule of law. We can't be part of the illegality of Nandara and Amriat. Yeah, I'm just actually getting information that they had only 3 members of parliament. Only 3 members of parliament that were at Rugogo. Out of 31. And you see, members of parliament are smart. They realize that the supporters down there are not with Nandar and Amriat. So they don't want to sacrifice their constituencies by going against the people. Because Nandar and Amriat have decided to go against the Ugandans, they have gone with the dictator. And that's why you see the RDCs, the ministers, the interim spokespersons, the cadre judges are all with Nandara. So it would be unwise of us as members of parliament now to also escort them as they deliver whatever they would want to deliver to State House. So we will not be with them, we shall remain with the people of Uganda.
I'd like to thank you so much for coming. And also I'd like to say something regarding the world, what is taking place in the Palestine, in Israel. It's very, very sad. And I'd like to say that we have solidarity with the people of Israel and the people of Palestine. And I hope a solution is found for these people. They have suffered so much, the Palestine, for so many, many, many years, 7 generations. And this cannot continue. Now, regarding some of these issues that have been mentioned, I'd like also to add my voice to inform, again, those who are real FDC, that what happened here on the 19th of September is still happening. We are still FDC. We are the legitimate people who you gave the rights to go ahead with the party. I want also to mention to all the delegates who are here that you are still delegates until next year, March, when we will have elections. So don't be swayed by anyone, by all the nonsense that is coming from Najana and Kumbi. that they have a new delegates, that their delegates in none and void. You are the legitimate delegates who were here on the 19th of September, so rejoice because the devil has been defeated. Thirdly, I'd like to tell you to remain strong, all of you, our members who have given us so much hope. We are embarking on many things, and you will realize soon or later that the people, you, are with us. We want to continue to work with you, to support you, and all of us are dedicated to make sure that our party is together again. And we also like to take this opportunity to request or ask all those who have left FDC, all the member parliaments who have left and went somewhere else, you are totally welcome. We welcome you back with open hands and nothing, no manenos, okay? We want you back. Thank you so much and God bless.
Uganda Yancha.